8 weeks out from show. Let's go. What is going on, guys? Johnny here, and today marks 8 weeks out from the show. So we are now at the halfway point of our prep. So we've been doing it since week 16. So we're now on the home stretch. So super excited for it. We're now seeing the light at the end of the tunnel. So it's only going to get a little bit more intense from here, but I mean, we've got it this far and yeah, just super stoked with it all. So currently we are on our way to the coach check-in to go see the coach, just go through, have a little bit of an in-person inspection to see how we're going with things, see how the physique is holding up, as well as just go through any little tweaks that we may need to do to dial in coming into these next few weeks. However, weight dropping over the past week has been pretty decent. We've seen some good results. I think from Sunday to Sunday, which is today, that's about a 1.2 kilo drop in weight. So definitely good. I'm seeing a lot of differences in my body as well as my face, sort of around the ab area, and my lower back is definitely starting to show some solid results as well. So yeah, I'm running a touch late. Let's get out of here. Let's get to the gym, do our check-in, and I'll see you guys once we are finished there. I'll hold you tighter when I try to fit through you, baby. I'll make you fighter. All right, guys, check-in is now completed, which it's all been great news as well. Comparing the photos from 2 weeks ago, looking absolutely insane. A lot of improvement has happened over the past 2 weeks, so I'm super excited about that. Looking phenomenal. And with 8 more weeks up our sleeve as well, it's only going to get much better. So no dietary changes this week, nor do we have to change any of our cardio. We're just keeping everything the same. That is definitely what we want to hear once again, because obviously if you keep changing things up, it just means that you're going to be having less calories and getting more fatigue. Definitely happy that we get to keep things the exact same. Now we're going to be heading off to the next gym because we're going to go see our posing coach, since I use a prep coach and a posing coach separately. So we've got to go do some posing practice, get that all down pat. Right now, it is time to eat. As a lot of you guys may already know from previous videos, we've got ourselves our meal prepped, which we have our sort of oatmeal pancake sort of thing, cookie, whatever you want to call it, where we just mix it up with the protein, the peanut butter, and the oats, chuck it in the frying pan, and we call that a pancake, even though we don't blend it up, but still gets the job done, tastes good, quick and easy on the go, and fills you up. So yeah, anyway, it's time to head off, get some posing into us. Well, not into us, we'll get the food into us, go do some posing, keep practicing, because posing wins shows as well as the shreds. Let's keep it up, on to the next part of the day, and yeah, it's all great news. And I'll see you guys when we get there. All right, guys, so we've just put up to Genesis Gym. This is where I'm going to be doing all my posing, which pretty nice gym, actually. I don't mind it. It's pretty sick, pretty decent. Just rocked up. I'm going to head into class in a couple of seconds. Well, about 10 minutes, not a few seconds. Stuck and ready for all that sort of stuff, and head on in, do some posing, see how we go. Hopefully we have improved. And because I've done a bit of practice, been practicing every single morning, so hopefully the coach should see some differences in the way that I'm posing, seeing as last time was my first time actually having a posing class. We'll see how we go. Hopefully only good news, but yeah, only up from here. Just practice makes perfect, as you guys would all know. Got to stay consistent. Whew. All right, that is posing completed for today. Just did about a good hour of straight up posing continuously. So essentially we're just completely conditioning ourselves with the posing, because once we're on stage, if we can pose for an hour here, then we can pose easily for 10 to 20 minutes on stage. That's the whole idea behind it. But geez, it takes it out of you. Hey, like, wouldn't believe it. Like, as some of you guys know, it's first time competing, so haven't really been through all this sort of stuff before. But yeah, definitely when you see the big boys on stage competing, like all the professionals and stuff, they make it look so damn easy, but it is so hard. Like, I'd say posing is the hardest thing in a prep, and then the eating, and then the training. Like, the training's the easiest part of it all. Like, you think that maybe it's the hardest because you start getting fatigued and stuff, but 100% training is the easiest thing about a prep. And then it's the food, and then it's the posing. It just takes it out of you. Really, really takes it out of you. But yeah, it's now coming up time for our next meal though, which, as you all know, is good old chicken and rice with cucumber. We've resorted back to cucumber, and so we're going to get that into us very shortly because I'm absolutely starving after all that. So very excited to be up to mealtime because it is definitely one of my favorite times of the day to be stuffing my face full of food. Just joking, I don't really stuff my face with food because I like to enjoy it at the moment, savor every little piece of it. So yeah, anyway, that's pretty much us for today, besides doing a little bit of extra cardio. So we've got to go for a 45-minute walk later on, which once I get home, I'll probably do that. But we've also changed up our dinner meal as well because I've integrated a little bit of liver. So I'll show you guys exactly how I cook up the liver on the days that I eat liver, because as some of you guys may know, liver is extremely nutritious. So I'll get more into that once it's up to time to cook it and explain a little bit more on why I've decided to have liver incorporated into my weekly diet. So yeah, anyway, we'll cross that bridge when we get there. But for now, it's time to eat. So I'm going to enjoy this food because food is love. I'll see you all shortly. All right, guys, so as mentioned before, I've now changed up the kangaroo dish a few times a week to lamb liver. So as you can see here, we already have it. When I buy it, I pretty much just section it down to 100-gram little fillets and then just chuck it in the freezer so I can use it as I go. So that way, I'm not sure how long it lasts in the fridge. So I know that if it's frozen at least, one, it's a bit easier to cook and dice down really fine. And also, obviously, it means that I can keep it for a little bit longer since I feel like you probably don't want to eat it after a few days of it sitting inside the fridge just because it is liver. So might be wrong, might not be. Don't really know. So I'm pretty much going to show you guys how I prep this for it to taste the best way that I possibly can and how I find that it's good enough that I'm able to eat it without noticing it too much. Anyway, so for this meal in particular, as you guys know, with the kangaroo, I would have like beans and stuff like that. So for this meal, I prefer to do zucchini, which as you can see, I just dice it up nice and small. So we've got 100 grams of greens here. We've got 100 grams of the liver, and then we're gonna be having 220 grams of basmati rice, along with half a tablespoon of olive oil, which is pretty much what I just put in the pan as opposed to putting it over the top because it gives us something to cook with. So that's essentially what we have. And then the add-ins that we're going to be using is we got ourselves some soy sauce, red wine vinegar, we got chili flakes, some rosemary, some parsley and some garlic, and we will be using some salt and pepper as well on top of all these. So that's essentially what this dish is made of. Without further ado, let's just start cooking it up because I'm beginning to get fairly hungry. So we'll just whack the pan on and start to get that sizzling away. Got our extra virgin olive oil. So pretty much half a tablespoon, for those of you that don't know, is 10 mil, which is, it works out to be a dessert spoon, but I use the measurement one anyway to work that out, but that's for reference if you guys don't have that handy. So whack that in the pan. Because I like to get the pan nice and hot as well before I throw this in, just because it cooks a little bit nicer. So I dice it up nice and fine so I'm not getting like a huge clump in the mouth, because I did that the first time that I had the liver and it wasn't too nice, but I found that the pieces that were small, they went down. It almost just tasted like mushroom or fake chicken if you guys have ever had. Like if you've ever tried one of those vegan dishes that have the fake chicken in it, like the fake chicken curries, it sort of was similar texture, similar flavor to that. So you don't really notice it once you've done it the way that I do it. And it is jam-packed full of nutrients as well. Like if you add this to your diet, I don't think you're meant to have it every single day, which is why I only have it twice a week. Because I believe you should only have about, I think it's 200 to 300 grams of it in a week. That stops you from, I think it's having too much vitamin A. I may be wrong, but it's one of the vitamins you're not supposed to have too much of because it can actually be fairly toxic. All right, so once that's all diced up, like so, you can see that it's pretty much the same size of what I do with the zucchini. pretty much whack that straight in the pan and add your soy sauce and the red wine vinegar pretty much immediately because you want it to marinate in that, and throw the chili and garlic, rosemary and parsley in after that as well. Like pretty much you want it all in there together to marinate while it cooks. That's what tastes the best. I use about 3 tablespoons of soy sauce. To about 1 tablespoon of red wine vinegar. And then pretty much you just add the rest of the condiments to your own preference for flavor, essentially. You don't have to have the chili, but I find that the chili helps with the flavor of the liver. Like if you don't have it, I feel like it might not help it taste as good, if that makes sense. Once you have it all in, just give it a little bit of a mix around. You'll find that the liver cooks extremely quickly as well, but don't worry, the more that you cook it, some people say that it gets fairly tough, but it honestly doesn't. It just becomes the same texture as mushrooms, and plus you want the zucchini to cook the whole way through so it's not completely disgusting, because there's nothing worse than having undercooked zucchini. Now while that's simmering away, I'll just be measuring up my rice, which we've already got pre-cooked here. Don't mind the hands. It's pretty much like a rice cake, like it just sort of compacted. We get 220 grams of that. Just like so. And then chuck your rice in with that and let that sort of all marinate together. So as you guys can see, it's a fairly similar recipe to the kangaroo fried rice, but there's a few little variations in there, which I wouldn't want to have with the kangaroo fried rice, just so I don't think it would go. But yeah, that's essentially the way that I'll cook the liver, and it tastes pretty damn good for liver. So as you guys could see right there, that is the dish, final product. Doesn't actually look too bad, it's pretty nice. And for the taste test, so we've got ourselves a little bit of liver here, as you guys can see. Absolute perfection. Has the spice to it. It's got the saltiness from the soy sauce, and then the vinegar also helps just sort of break it down that little bit to get rid of any of the nasty flavors that liver sort of holds within it. So definitely test it out for yourselves, because as I said previously earlier on in the video, the reason I've decided to add some liver to my diet throughout the week is because I was just feeling that I needed the extra nutrients, and liver is absolutely jam-packed full of it. So if you're dieting down and restricting the amount of foods that you're having, and you're not supplementing with like multivitamins and stuff like that, then I highly do recommend that you get your hands on some liver, add it to your diet, even if you just grind it up or shred it up and just throw little bits and pieces in here and there and mix it together. It'll honestly just boost your nutrients that much more, and you may perform better in the gym and see some better results as well. So definitely try it out for yourselves, but I'm gonna get stuck into this because, as always, I'm starving when it comes to meal times, and that'll be a wrap on this week's video for 8 weeks out. Very excited, times to come. So anyway, guys, if you did enjoy it, don't forget to leave a like and comment any feedback you guys have down below, because I love hearing from you guys as well, interacting with you all. And if you're new around here, then hit the big red subscribe button for more content, and I'll see you all next time.